I can see my dreams coming true, and I'm not interested.
People have got feelings, people have got emotions,
Oh,
people have invested time and money and stuff into all of this.
It's a massive risk going on Britain's Got Talent.
You're assuming these guys are the best rappers in the world. And I can bring you 100 rappers that will bury them.
The happiest I've been is when I was really rubbish at rapping, right? And I was just trying to rap.
You're a doctor.
Yeah.
So how can you justify all of that and convince us that it's not because you're earning off the back of it?
All this time I'm putting out videos with 20 views. Were you believing in me then?
Why do you have to wait for the rest of the world to jump before you jump?
Sometimes I wish I agreed with what everyone said and what everyone thought, because my life would be a lot easier. But then I wouldn't be me.
Welcome back to the 521 DocuChats. Today I have a special guest, a friend of mine from many years ago who basically I met through my CD manufacturing business, and I knew instantly there was something different about this guy. So I picked up the phone, called him like all 14, 15 years ago to find out more about the guy. But in more recent times, he's gone from underground rapper to the guy that's now being viewed by millions of people around the world on the TV show that is Britain's Got Talent. I want to find out more about all of that. And on top of that, there's some more, but I'll come back to that in a second. But before we begin, please subscribe to the channel, click the bell to receive the notifications, like, share, and get involved in the comment section below. And now, I'd like to welcome to the 521 DocuChats my good friend, probably the first ever doctor rapper in the world, Chima Anya. How you doing, bro?
I'm fantastic, man. Thank you for that awesome introduction, man. You know what I mean?
We first met through the CD manufacturing business.
Yeah.
And instantly, you remember you sent me a job to do and I called you up and I said, yo, you got something different.
Yeah.
Do you remember that conversation?
I mean, I remember like you calling and giving props, and I was like, wow, that's dope, because you must get a lot of CDs. And that was like one of the things that gave me confidence in what I was doing as well. So yeah, but I remember we used to spend a lot of time talking, you know, and obviously I was aware of your background in music as well. So I would like get lots of kind of advice from you. We'd talk about, you know, the industry and how to maneuver and stuff like that. And I also really liked how you always kept it honest. You know what I mean? You were like, what you liked and what you didn't like. And I found that valuable because, you know, a lot of the times you'll speak to people and they won't really give you helpful, like constructive criticism. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I remember we used to spend, I swear we spent hours on the phone talking, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, the good old days back when people had CDs, and you had the best deal on CDs, I remember, because I'm frugal. I wouldn't have spent it if it wasn't. So yeah, I did like loads of CDs with you. I did like my mixtapes, I did my New Day album. I think I did the Doctor's Note as well with you. And then after that, there's not been CDs. So, you know what I mean? We didn't do the CDs anymore. But yeah, so that it was only right to make this connection, come down, have a chat. You know what I mean? It's been a lot of years, as you've said, you know what I mean? And talk about, well, what's been going on, you know what I mean? And how have you popped up on Britain's Got Talent all of a sudden, do you know what I mean? So,
yeah, that was crazy. But you know, I just want to address one thing. When you sent me the artwork and you sent me the audio for New Day album, right? The first thing that caught my attention was your hair.
Yeah.
and instantly I thought, I got to pay attention to this guy because there's something a little bit different. Right? But we'll come to that. But yeah. I just want you to know that that's where the relationship began.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know that. A lot of people, it's the Afro. Like a good friend of mine, Kid Fury. I don't know if you know Kid. You might know Kid Fury, Franklin in Oxford. Because I remember years ago, I was thinking of shaving my Afro off. Because I've never been one to like. I didn't want my visual. For the longest time, I didn't pay attention to my image at all. Probably to my downfall. But I remember him saying to me, if you shave your Afro off, you better make sure there's something else interesting about you, like visually, do you know what I mean? And obviously I didn't shave my Afro off. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You know, people hear what they see, you know what I'm saying? So I get it, you know? It's the same reason in my last video, I know you were hating on it. It's the same.
No, I wasn't hating on it. I just said, we'll talk about that later.
I had a McLaren in my last video because I was like, I need to get people's attention. Yeah. You know what I mean? It gets people's attention. You know what I'm saying?
So now that you've said that, right, I will tell you why I said what I said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
basically because why would you put the attention on a McLaren when the attention should be on you?
The attention is on me. That's why it's
No,
just
but you
like
just said you wanted something else to bring the attention to.
no, 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 no. It's like the attention's not on the Afro. When I'm rapping, it's not the Afro that's rapping. It's me that's rapping.
I don't know about that.
But
All I'm seeing is the Afro
yeah,
thing.
yeah, 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 yeah. You see a little mouth on the Afro. So it's just a
There's an
prop.
idea for a video, right?
It's a prop. Yeah, there is, there is. But like I said, I don't want to lean into the Afro too much. The Afro is not going to last too much longer. Like,
Okay.
man's getting old. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So like the testosterone is destroying the hair follicle.
But I'm just saying, look, the point I was making is that's what instantly
I
caught
get
my
it. Yeah,
attention.
and so many
And
people.
then we built a friendship over that.
I think I probably had my partner because of my Afro. Do you know
Okay,
what I
but
mean?
there you go.
Like yeah, like
Okay.
it's sad that that's how the world works, but that's how the world works.
That's how the world works, unfortunately. But you know what? Let's delve a little bit into your background. What's your background?
So my dad's Nigerian and my mum's Romanian. I was born in Romania, moved to Glasgow in in 86. And I lived there till 95. That's why my accent's a bit strange. People think it's American, but actually it's Scottish mixed with English. And that's why my little brother, when he played football professionally, he played for Scotland because he was born in Scotland. So then we moved to Oxford in 95. So that's where I was like a teenager. That's why I always rep Oxford, really, when people ask where you're from. Even though I've been living in London since 2007, I rep Oxford because that's where I became a person. And so that's my background in terms of like where I've been. Yeah, I studied medicine at Birmingham University, 2002 to 2007. 2007, I became a doctor, and I moved to London to try and do the music thing. That's probably around the time we probably met, you know. And yeah, I've been in London ever since, just doing the music thing and the doctor thing, you know, at the same time.
You being a doctor, you're an actual doctor.
Actual doctor, yeah.
Okay. So I reckon we should try and get Dr. Dre in here so you two can have a little battle as to who's the real doctor in this thing.
I mean, it's quite obviously me, but yeah, no, I get the Dr. Dre thing all the time. It's kind of helpful, I guess, because it's like an instant connection people can make.
Yeah, of course.
And it's like an evolution, okay? You had Dr. Dre, but now you actually have a doctor. And I liked when you said the world's first doctor rapper, because obviously there's a lot of doctors out there who's rapping, you know, shout out Dr. Big F, and I see a few of them on TikTok and things like that. But in terms of the history, if you go back and the level, like I probably am the first. I'm gonna put my foot down and say the first that, and obviously there's Z-Dog MD in America. I remember because someone who would listen to me sent him my stuff, and he was like, this guy's an actual rapper, whereas Z-Dog MD, like, you know, sometimes they'll do it for like comedy and things like that, where it's not really their main thing. You know what I mean? My main thing is I'm a rapper, do you know what I mean? So I can't remember where I was going with this, but yeah, I'm the world's first doctor rapper, actual doctor rapper. I'm saying it right here, 521. Any other doctor rappers out there want to come at me, feel free, you know what I mean? Bring the receipts, you know?
Yeah, there you go. Bring the receipts. Always the receipts, right? Let's go into your journey, where it all started, where you had the belief to start releasing music and letting the world know who you are.
That's got to be in Oxford. I was part of a group called GTA, shout out Ineffable. And we were lucky. You might know Sean from, he used to put on a night called Beats and Rhymes.
I don't know if I know him personally, but his names you always hear and blah blah.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And
we got some big looks early in our career, if you will, as GTA, because we were like the local lads rhyming.
what does GTA stand for?
It stood for Ghetto Thug Angels. It was like we were making fun. Like I think Ineffable was in school, and on like, you know, when we used to do our exams on the desks, someone had written Ghetto Thug Angels Forever, and we just sort of stole that because we thought it was funny. You know? So GTA,
From the most unghetto people in the world.
exactly. Well, that was the whole point. It was like a parody as well, kind of thing. We were kind of like satire, you know. So we got some big looks early. Like we did a show, KRS. We opened for KRS-One. You know what I mean? KRS-One, Beat Nuts. But Sean was coming through, bringing all these huge acts to Oxford, and then we would be the warm up band, and then we started getting a little buzz locally, you know, and people were feeling it. So we put out some songs, and then we sent them to radio at the time. Early, DJ Excalibur, One Extra, got to shout him out because like when we first started sending out CDs, a few people started playing them on the radio, you know. So DJ Excalibur was one. Wayne McDonald in Birmingham was another one. So this all gives you confidence, like wow, you know, we can do this, you know. Night Shift magazine in Oxford used to review our stuff in their like magazine, and all of that stuff gives you the confidence to build. And I just built slowly, and then so it went from like One Extra to then late, you know, a few projects later I'm on Radio 1 with like Marianne Hobbs. I come to like the London, and London DJs are playing me like DJ 279, Shorty Blitz, Giles Peterson. So they're all playing the music, and that's all making. This is back when radio was more influential than it is now.
Was that as GTA or
No,
Chima
no,
Anya?
no. So then GTA kind of ran its course because Ineffable, he wasn't. I don't know. You'd have to ask him. We're still cool. It's all love, but like I'm the music man. He's like he loves music, but it wasn't really his like main drive. And I was working at a rate that I think he couldn't keep up with, or didn't want to keep up with, or like he was in Oxford as well. I was in either Birmingham doing medicine, studying medicine, or London. So it was like I was like working at a fast rate, putting out music. You know what I mean?
He was in Oxford.
Yeah.
You were in Birmingham and London.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see the difference.
Yeah.
The areas, they
yeah.
bring different characters out of people.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So maybe it was the fact that you went to other areas that basically expected more from you. Whereas in Oxford, it's more of a relaxed life, right?
Yeah, I guess. Well, yeah, okay. I see where you're going with it, but I don't think that those particular cities put any demands on me. They didn't really want anything from me. That was just me.
But
trying
what
to
I'm
hustle.
saying is your environment. Innit?
Environment, yeah.
The environment creates you.
I
Right?
get what you're saying. Yeah, maybe. But it's not. It was just a natural evolution. GTA. You know what? That's crazy because it's a mirror of what's happened later in my career as well. Where like I hide behind a group. You know, it's easier to move as a group than to move by yourself. Do you know what I mean? So I guess when I very first started GTA, it was like I was in a group. It's easier when you're with your friends.
Was that a lack of confidence that made you do that as
Yeah,
well?
100%, man. You know, definite lack of confidence. I lack confidence to this day, you know what I mean? And I just battle through it, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why I said even later, because the recent thing with Britain's Got Talent, that was actually, if you look at what they showed, there's like loads of us on stage, do you know what I mean? I was hiding behind a group and they were like, nah, there's no group, it's just Dr. Chima Anya.
From the little clip that I saw, their focus was on Dr. Anya.
Yeah.
It wasn't. They didn't mention anyone else.
No,
in the
they
group
didn't.
You know, and I think that in some ways is testament to the person that you've become.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes me wonder why you question your confidence.
Yeah, why do I? I think it's deep, isn't it? It goes back to, it probably goes up to your upbringing, right? And I don't want to be that guy that's always blaming their parents for everything. I don't blame my
Feel free, bro. I do it.
No, my parents are the reason I'm successful. Do you know what I mean? Like, but with the pros come the cons as well. So like, my dad was always like, you have to. This is something that stuck with me. If I got 10 out of 10 on a test, he would be like, what did the other kids get? And if they all got 10 out of 10,
why didn't you get 11?
Exactly, basically, you know. And I think when you get pushed to that level, like nothing is ever good enough, you know, unless you are the best. I guess that's why I gravitate to hip hop a little bit as well, because back then it was like the braggadocio. Yeah. You know, my early raps were like braggadocio raps, all of it. I'm the best, you know.
But isn't that also a way to kind of counterbalance your lack of confidence?
Exactly, yeah. So it's like an insecurity that you have deep inside you. And as you get older, even though you can like rationalize your way out of it, it's imprinted on your character. You know, that you know, no matter how many reassurances you get, you still like, it's not good enough. I'm not good enough. Like, why would anyone care about me? Why would anyone want to listen to what I say? You know what I mean? Like, it's just naturally part of how I am.
So do you think in many ways you could have been a lot more as an artist, but you held yourself back because of those insecurities?
Probably, yeah, probably. But equally, that's who I am, so I can't be mad at it. That's the person I am, and equally, that's what makes me me. And I'm just getting to the point now where I'm feeling comfortable that actually, you know what, I'm interesting. Do you know what I mean? I'm interesting, and that's okay. Like, so to have that, self doubt is not the end of the world. I know in the hip hop field, it's like, everyone thinks they're Will Smith, and they'll be like, there's no reason for a plan B because it's only plan A. Do you know what I mean? Or like, you believe in yourself to like deluded levels. That's how you make it to the top.
Oh, you have to believe in yourself to the point of insanity.
Yeah. And maybe but at least I'm me. Do you know what I mean? And I'm happy being me. And this is where it's got me. And I'm not mad. This is cool, man. Look at this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This is cool. Like, this is my day off. Well, kind of. And I'm just chilling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, doing what I love, speaking to like a legend in the game. Like, I can't complain. But yeah, do I sometimes think I could be further along in my career? I keep using it. Is that like when you're an artist, like an artist in career. I'm like, there's a tension there, isn't it? And I feel like I'm an artist. Do you know what I mean? And this is where I'm supposed to be right now. You know what I mean? But yeah. I mean, yeah. If I had more confidence, definitely I would.
So when did you become a doctor?
2007.
Right, so you became a doctor at the same time you were getting into the music, deeper into the music.
Yeah, definitely.
Then you were also, while you were while you were in the whole doctor thing and whatever, you were also putting on events in Brixton.
Yeah.
There was other things going on. You had mixtapes. You had, how many albums have you done?
So I always have to count this, right? So we're talking about all of the albums, even like albums in school that you put out, like that you burn on your CD. Or
Albums that are officially out there.
Officially out there that are available now.
Yeah.
Okay, so officially out there, there's New Day, People Forget,
Doctor's Note.
Doctor's Note, No Pressure, and Modern Fairy Tale.
Okay, so you got five albums.
Like right now, you can go to streaming services.
And those are all Chima Anya, not GTA.
They're not. None of the GTA stuff is on streaming services. Yeah.
How many singles?
Oh, bro, now
You're talking ridiculous.
Yeah. Because obviously the game now is singles.
Right. Okay, so the reason why I asked that is just basically it baffles me that we have artists that we've never heard of that are blowing up like on socials and on the internet and everything, but they never do a show and all that.
Yeah.
And then you got somebody like you who's put out that much content as well that can basically match what they've done.
Yeah.
But you're doing it more on a street level and whatever.
Yeah.
And you're not getting where you need to be.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Obviously, as a human being, for a second, you're upset and you're like, what am I doing wrong? Do you know what I mean? But it goes back to what I was saying, like, that's their story. That's not my story. And that being said, I've been around long enough to know now and see it, right? That these people that get this instant success, it's not good. You need these like incremental steps to really build a foundation, because otherwise you don't have a strong foundation. So I'm not that upset about it. I've been recently thinking as well, like, I'm not, like, you can't put me, if you want to talk about UK rappers, right? You can't put me in the box with literally anyone else, right?
Hence the reason why I called you.
Yeah, but so it's almost like you see all this stuff coming out now about Diddy, right? Back in the day, I would have loved to get signed by Bad Boy, right? But that didn't happen, And look at actually how that was a good thing. Looking back now, when you see all of the stuff that was going on in the industry, you know what I mean? All of this messed up stuff that, who knows, maybe the people that are seeing this success are actively getting involved in. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm not that kind of person. You know what I mean? I'm a doctor. I have a family.
Bro, my belief is when you see somebody like Diddy and everything that he's done, all the people that were there, I believe they all knew what was going on.
Oh, 100%, right?
Yeah. And
they were doing
I believe while they were benefiting from it, they all kept their mouths shut. Now it's come out, they're all in denial.
Yeah.
That's just the way I think.
What becomes listened to changes constantly. You know what I mean? like you listen to raps 10, 15 years ago, it's very different to how it is now, you know, and everyone gets their time eventually, or you don't get your time, and that's fine. At least if you keep going, you keep trying, and you're having fun with it, who cares?
Yeah, but ultimately, don't you start this for yourself?
Yeah, exactly.
So
Like,
why are you mad when you don't get the success, when you haven't really
exactly.
started for that reason?
Exactly. The happiest I've been is when I was really rubbish at rapping, right? And I was just trying to rap. You know, you remember them times you'd be in your room and you'd play a beat and you just try and you just try and you just try. And what happened was a few years ago, I went back to that. You know, and that's why like my raps are different now. It's no longer like formulaic, braggadocio, multi-syllable punchlines, which on paper is what you would say. Oh, that's a great rapper. Do you know what I mean? I'm more like being kind of like free with it, more like trying to be a bit more artistic with it. So yeah. I mean, sometimes you do sit and think like, like Kanye has that lyric where he goes, "Damn, these brothers are that much better than me." You know what I mean? Like we know that there's not that much difference. You know what I mean? Like there's the difference in terms of like the work and the marketing and the audience generating an audience, cultivating an audience. But cultivating an audience is sort of not really an artistic endeavor.
When we were growing up, like we were gravitating to the artist's music because we were listening with our ears, right? Then it became a visual thing and it became a marketing thing.
Yeah, yeah,
So you can tell me certain rappers are your favorite rappers and they're the best rappers in the world, and I'll be like, I don't see that. They're probably not even in my top 100 or
yeah,
top 200.
yeah.
Because there's so many rappers that I hear on the underground
Yeah.
that I believe are better than them.
Yeah.
But you know the difference is they've caused drama that's now being discussed all over the news and papers and in the radio stations and wherever else. And it's the drama that people are gravitating to. And then because the drama is interesting enough, people are then listening to the music. And because they're not listening to the music of these underground rappers that you've never heard, you're assuming these guys are the best rappers in the world. And I can bring you 100 rappers that will bury them.
You're right, 100%. And that was a little bit behind why I made the decision to go on to Britain's Got Talent, because it was like, let me give some people something to talk about.
I wanted to move on to other things, other aspects, things that were beyond your control. You, as an artist, invested a little bit of money in yourself, and personally, you've told me already that you felt you could have done more, right? And you can talk about that in a second as well. But like I said, there were things that were out of your control. For example, we had a discussion about a certain company that basically their job is to promote you. That's what you've paid for the services. But you felt cheated. Do you want to tell us? Because people need to understand that these things happen as well.
Yeah, I mean, this was real early, this was the GTA days, and the company, well-known company, Zonked. There was a guy there called Harvey, and Charles. I don't know what Charles' second name is. I have no problem talking about these people because I didn't do anything wrong. I was like a naive 18, 19-year-old trying to come into the game, spending what was a lot of money for me at the time to, try and promote my song. And I didn't understand that these people would just take your money and they might just like fling a record to a DJ, but not really properly follow it up, not really properly do due diligence. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I think that was the first instance when I realized that wow, I'm going to run into a lot of friction, because I wasn't having it. Everyone else is they just accept it that it's like, oh, that's the expense of being, putting music out. You pay people not to do anything. But I was like, nah, I come from the real world where you work for your money. Do you know what I mean? So if I've paid you something, I need to see what you've actually done, and they couldn't do that. And the situation went really negative. And in the end, I had to take them to court and get my money back. And I got my money back, and they were very upset about the whole thing. But I'm just like, just if someone pays you some money, do some work. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. But yeah, so that's real. People don't realize that there's loads of people out there. Even now, I have people that have approached me, and there's one guy. He approached me, talking about getting the music in different markets and stuff like this, and I Googled him quickly. And then I saw like on Reddit, about Reddit, loads of people, loads of up and coming artists, saying this guy contacts them, pretends to have connections to get like songs signed, you know, on Warner or whatever, Sony, and like charges them like thousands of pounds, and then nothing happens, you know. So thankfully, throughout my time, I've not been done. Even though those guys tried to do me, I ended up getting my money back. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, obviously that's the challenges that everyone comes up against when they're trying to.
I had a similar issue with Zonk myself.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't need to go into the full story and everything.
yeah,
You know what happened. But yeah, it happens to a lot of people. But the thing is, if we don't talk about these things, there's all these people that don't know the industry and they're going to go into them situations blind. And then when it happens to them, it's like they're the ones that have been done over, but they feel like they can't talk about it. And you need to start talking about these things so that those people can get exposed and you can basically start learning how the industry really works. It's like you can pay, doesn't mean you're getting what you paid for.
100%, man. That's why I'm happy to talk about it. And in a way, I'm happy that, you know, all these years later, you know, I'm still here. I don't know what them men are doing. Do you know what I mean?
Did you in some ways feel like what happened to Zonk was also responsible for maybe things not kind of panning out the way?
Nah, you know what? As much as like they didn't really do their job that well, I don't attribute that much gravitas to it, you know. And it didn't what's the word, motivate me that much. I remember at the time thinking it was a big deal. Now I look back at it and I sort of laugh. I remember like talking to you about it, and like obviously I feel like your situation was a lot worse than what happened to me. I remember talking to my boy Soweto Kinch about it, and I remember at the time when I was talking to him, I could sort of hear his eyes rolling over, like, what's this guy complaining about? You know what I mean? Like, but you know, no, I mean, it is a setback. It is, what's the word? It does demotivate you, but it wasn't that big a deal, really. And the reality of it is probably the music probably didn't do as well as it could have done.
But the point I'm trying to make here is they're a PR company.
Oh,
Right?
100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If they don't have faith in what they're gonna sell, don't take the job on.
Oh, 100%. And that's why I've said, like, you know, it's hard to know where to spend your money in this game, because there's so many just cowboys out there that aren't doing a proper job.
But they just want the money.
They just want the money, 100%.
And they'll lie to you, they'll do whatever they have to get the
100%,
money, and
yeah.
then they'll just swipe it like and think you're an idiot, you won't know.
Exactly, yeah. And they'll treat you in ways that's not respectful. I agree. However, I will never blame them and say they're the reason that I'm not.
Oh yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah,
man.
you know what I mean.
Because you had the option to say no to them as well, didn't
Well,
you?
exactly. Yeah, I could have taken. You know, I could have done X, Y, and Z otherwise. So that's where I was getting at. Like, okay, even though that did happen, and it is one of the difficulties in navigating yourself through this industry, I can't blame them completely. And actually, I don't even look at them as like really. I don't even care.
But now we're wiser in it.
Yeah, but I think your situation is different from mine, and you probably can attribute more blame when you're working on that scale. I was an unknown, still am unknown artist, you know. Yeah, so but yeah, it is frustrating that like I can count probably on one hand in music the amount of people I've met that have, I feel like, genuinely have helped me, and I'd put you in that category. That's why I'm sat here with you right now. And I just think that's so sad that you can go through like 15 years in this game and just feel like people are leeching off you. So many people are leeching off you, and very few people are actually helping you. You know.
I mean, look, like I said, the reason why I mention these kind of things is so that people out there are aware that there are people out there that do these things.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so be careful who you pick to work with.
100%.
You know, even down to the artists that you work with, even down to the producers you choose and whatever. Everyone has to be reliable and on the same page to make shit work.
Oh, 100%.
In the conversation just now, you mentioned Soweto Kinch. So what's your relationship with Soweto Kinch?
Soweto was another person I'd put in the category that helped me. You know, when I was in Birmingham, we met. He's from Birmingham. He's a sick MC, like a real
100%.
MC. Yeah, he's a sick jazz musician. And yeah, he actually gave me my first shows, my first shows where we actually got paid, you know, at the Drum in Birmingham. And yeah, he just invited me down, and we did loads of shows actually. there. He's on the album New Day. We worked on tracks together. He's just a real cool guy. You know what I mean? He's like showed love, and yeah, I got a lot of respect for him and a lot of love for him. You know what I mean? So, and yeah, he's different, isn't he?
He's very different.
He's like a jazz, but really with like really serious lyrics intertwined.
Yeah, 100.
And then like he does the like hip hop songs, but again with like some real heavy
There's
jazz.
always a twist to it, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's something different.
Yeah,
Always.
so he's dope, and I'm just honored that he saw whatever he saw all those years ago, invited me on stage.
Did that lead anywhere for you?
Did that lead? Yeah, me working with Soweto opened so many doors for me because
Explain.
well, because when people saw me at Soweto's won a mobile award, so when people see me with Soweto, you know what I mean, it was like, oh, this guy must be serious as well. This guy must be a legend. You know what I mean? That's
And then they get to know you and think, what a fucking clown. I'm joking.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember back in the day when New Day dropped. New Day was a big song for me. Marianne Holmes played that. Radio 1 played that. When Radio 1 was Radio 1. Do you know what I mean? That Soweto was on that. Like, Giles Peterson played the New Day remix because Soweto was on it. I don't think Giles Peterson likes me. Do you know what I mean? He liked Soweto.
You can't say that.
No, I'm pretty sure. I'm quite good at reading like vibes. Because when he played it on his show, he didn't play the first part that had like the rapping on it. He played like the second part that was pretty much instrumental. And then then he said, yes, and that song has got a Soweto Kinch link in there. Do you know what I mean? So do you know what I mean? Like he said
so
that.
It becomes obvious, innit?
Yeah, well, it's very obvious. So I'm like, that's cool. Whatever. I don't know. I have nothing negative to say. It's just
Giles Peterson's a good dude anyway.
It's just the impression I get that and my music's not going to be for everyone. Yeah. And that's fine.
So where did it lead to though?
But then, like I just told you, like me doing a joint with Soweto Kinch then puts me on national radio.
Okay, but where else? Because there must have been more from that.
Yeah, and then in terms of getting shows in the live arena, I'm getting shows. And actually, so Soweto Kinch, me linking with Soweto meant that this bass guitarist called Moses De Santos knew of me. I was literally walking down the street. He screams at me, yo, I saw you in that video with Soweto. He then invites me to perform with him. Oh, yeah. And then he invited me to perform with him. And then through that, I get linked to working with a drummer called Pete Ray Biggin, who's the drummer for Level 42, and then you see how it's all linked. So you're saying, what did it lead to? What did it lead to? Like honestly, in terms of like live performance, in terms of hip hop music in the last 15 years in London, I've been a like consistent feature. If you've gone to a slightly hip hop related event, you might have seen me on stage.
So then I have the next question, which is just basically with all of that going on, why is Chima Anya not in the big lights?
Yeah. Well, I didn't capitalize, like I didn't cultivate my audience. Like I said, it's not an artistic endeavor. Every show I didn't go out with like a clipboard and say, sign up to my mailing list. And, a lot of the time it was me with the band and I'm not bigging myself up. You know what I mean? I'm not going out there. I'm just trying to do the music and I'm keeping myself to myself. Who knows what it is? Maybe it's just, it wasn't good enough for it to be at that level.
But there's also a time where it's not necessarily whether it's good enough. It's also a case of whether it's different enough. And what you were doing was different enough because you came in at a time when a lot of the rappers were either moody, they were talking depressing stuff where you wanted to slash your wrist, listening to them and whatever. And I don't mean that disrespectfully because, some of them are dope. Right? But there are some that just basically jump on the bandwagon and they're not really good yet, but the first thing they turn to is depression and whatever else. And you know what I mean? And you feel like the fun vibe of the entertainment side. This is supposed to be entertainment.
Yeah.
Right? The fun side of the entertainment side is kind of left.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get someone like you who's all about like just a good vibe.
Yeah. But I think some people don't like that. People don't like the good vibes. They're too used to the dark.
But do you think it's actually that they don't like it because they're too used to the dark, or just the fact that what you're showing is that you've got pretty much you're not showing a life where you got problems. Do you reckon some of it might come down to jealousy from people basically
Oh,
because your
jealousy.
music is fun,
Deep. That's
right?
deep. I do sometimes think that. I think sometimes
And they want to be where you are.
I liken it to when I go and play football a lot, right? I go and play football with like South Londoners a lot, and I notice that I get targeted a lot, even though like I'm trying to bring vibes, I'm trying to make the game better, you know what I mean? Like because it's different, like people automatically they kind of fear what they don't understand. Like maybe it's not jealousy, but they're just like, why is this guy so loud? You know, with his afro, you know, and like why like who does he think he is? You know, kind of thing as well. Like because I'm always like very opinionated and very like present. So yeah, I think some of it is people don't want to engage in it. You know, I remember back in the day. I remember when I put my stuff on Grime Daily before it was GRM. And Grime Daily, because those guys are professionals as far as I can tell, they were like, yeah, this is dope. This needs to be shown. But then I would see the reaction from the people who um, who would go to the website, and it wasn't resonating with them. Like at that time, you know, this weird, almost semi-American guy, you know, bright and bubbly, it wasn't what they were used to. They wanted to hear like I don't know. At the time, it was like grime music was popping off. You know what I'm saying? So it was completely different. So I guess the bottom line is I haven't truly found my audience. And even though I've been doing all this stuff at quite a high level, that's not where my audience is.
So you basically paid to get onto Grime Daily to appeal to an audience that just wasn't interested.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where you could have paid to go on another channel, maybe SBTV,
Maybe.
where it would have been different.
Yeah. Or 521 if
We
it
weren't
was
there then,
around
but
there.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so SBTV might have been better. I met Jamal at an event and he was cool and he showed love, you know. And yeah, but by that point, I'm like late 20s, you know. I don't want to be appealing, seen to be appealing, trying to get children to like my music.
You know, I really resonate with everything that you said in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah.
And the word that keeps coming to my mind is outcast.
Outcast. I'm an outcast.
Like me,
Definitely.
Bro, it's the best place to be.
We're on the fringes. Sometimes I wish that I wasn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I agreed with what everyone said and what everyone thought because my life would be a lot easier. But then I wouldn't be me. And I sort of like being me. So I accept it. I am the outcast. 100%. You're right. I'm the outcast. You know?
How does that make you feel?
It's not the end of the world.
But do you wake up kind of every morning in a different place? One day you'll be like excited, like, yo, this is happening. Next day it's like, why am I being picked on? Why am I the outcast? Why? You understand?
Yeah, I had that all the time.
Things.
Yeah, I had that
Still
all the time.
to this day?
Yeah, to this day. Some days I wake up and I cannot be bothered. Even now, I'm like at the best level. Like it's almost like my dreams are coming true. I can see my dreams coming true, and I'm not interested.
So you feel demotivated.
Yeah.
So you're waking up like basically in possibly the best place you've been in your musical career right now, but you still feel demotivated.
Yeah, because it's like with music, right? It's so fickle. You know, I always come to like, you know, that was it Biggie and More Money, More Problems in the video where he's like, you know, there's no guarantee they're gonna love you next year. You know what I mean? And I get scared. I get scared like, okay, what if now people start tuning in? And what if there's now a pressure to be at a certain level? You know, before I could put out a video, get 20 views, doesn't bother me. It does bother me, but it doesn't bother me. But when you've got a profile and then you put out a video and you've got 20 views, you know, then it starts to hurt you. Then you're like, oh, and I'm like, maybe I don't want that. Maybe, you know, like I almost feel like, okay, now I can only be doing like maneuvers where I'm in front of millions of people constantly. You know what I mean? Like, do I want that? I don't want that. You know what I mean? I just want to make great music, connect with like great people who are doing great things, and just that's it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like it's good and it's bad. And one day I wake up and I'm like, no, I can do it. It doesn't matter. You can block out all the noise. And some days I'm like, nah, you know what? I don't want to do it. I just want to chill, make sure my son is okay, make sure my partner's happy, and just learn how to play piano. You know what I mean?
And just do it for yourself.
Yeah.
And then
That's
whatever
it.
happens, happens, right?
That's it.
That's where the journey begins.
And that's honestly where I am right now.
Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah.
How did you get yourself on there?
So basically, they asked me to go on there.
Did you chase them or did they come to you?
No, I didn't chase them. No, they came to me. They set up a meeting, went to the meeting. They sold it to me.
Where did they find you?
So I'm part of a group called Soul Symphony, and this group is managed by Young Guns. I'll shout out Young Guns. They're another group that I'd say have helped me, and they're I don't know if they want me to talk about their business model, but let me not say business model. It's not their business model because they have their fingers in many pies. But they've had previous success with putting acts in Britain's Got Talent and winning them. Yeah, so they've got that relationship with Britain's Got Talent anyway, and so they were always trying to put Soul Symphony through Britain's Got Talent, and that's actually what it was. It was supposed to be Soul Symphony.
Right, so how come they, instead of saying Soul Symphony, they just announced it as Dr. Chima Anya?
Because they've looked at Soul Symphony and they felt that was the most captivating way to present it.
So they changed the dynamics of who you were supposed to be?
No, they could never do that because I came through but this was, again, I remember I mentioned earlier, me hiding behind GTA. I was hiding behind Soul Symphony. Yeah. I wasn't strong enough to say, oh, I could go on Britain's Got Talent and people would find me interesting. That was all Britain's Got Talent. Right. They were like, you are interesting. Yeah. You are the guy.
I told you that 15 years ago.
Yeah. Well, we had that whole conversation about belief. Britain's Got Talent were the people that made me believe in myself more.
So I didn't. Yeah. Come on, you're on the spot now.
Well,
I was telling you pretty much what they told you, but I told you 15 years ago before anyone knew.
I didn't believe it. I didn't believe to my.
But what I'm saying is, forget that I told you.
Yeah.
How many other people told you and you didn't believe them? But then it takes a show like Britain's Got Talent to make you believe.
How many people have told me? No, not many people have actually told me that. When I look at
You're joking.
Yeah, when I look at when I come out time and time again with what I feel is top tier music, right? And it just gets ignored.
Okay, let me just remind you again. The reason why me and you started talking was because I heard something and I called you.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And like I said, we're going back to the insecurity issues here. Like throughout my career, I've had positive affirmations, like confirmations, playing my stuff on radio, doing insane shows. Some of the shows that I've done are just like, you won't believe. People don't believe that I'm just an unknown. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I don't know. So maybe it takes having a child. Maybe it takes growing up. Maybe it takes, I was stuck in that underground hip hop rapper mentality. I'm underground. No one understands me. My stuff is too complex for you. Do you know what I mean?
Do you feel like sometimes we enjoy the drama so we have something to talk about and we keep ourselves in the drama?
Oh, deep. That's some psychoanalysis there. That I'm sure for some people they do. I'm not sure that applies to me. I think mine is just simple insecurity. We're only talking about this because you're like, how did it end up being you? And I'm like, I have to be honest. It wasn't me. I hid behind this group, and then they just found me, and then they put me on there, and then that made me realize, wow, okay, no, I could do this.
When that happened, did your relationship with the group change in any way?
I don't think so, because that group it does a lot of like functions, right? So they're not like,
so everyone knows their place.
Yeah, well, you can't put it like that. Knows their place. Like no one was doing it. People were doing it because they were like, they wanted the project to get profile so it could get bookings.
Right, but what I'm saying is because of the heavyweightness of the show and everything, they were like, I know people that would have gone, fuck this shit, I'm off.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, wait a minute, we're all part of this together.
Yeah. And some people did do that. They were like, we don't want to be on Britain's Got Talent.
Okay. Yeah. So did you have to rearrange the group and bring a different group in?
Yeah. So there's different.
So tell us about all of that.
I mean, it's not that deep. It was like a few instruments.
Well, it must have been deep for certain people to walk away from it.
That's deep. That's deep that you say that, because it kind of was a little bit deep, because it was a group that we've been together a long time, and it's, you know, it's frustrating when you have a group when some people are committed and some people aren't. They're like on the fringes. Do you know what I mean? There's like there's that dynamic. I think it didn't change anything, because it was. I think if it looked like I was pushing it, yeah, it would have changed things. But it was very clear that I wasn't pushing it, right? Because what happened was we turned up on the day, and I'm just talking about Soul Symphony, Soul Symphony, Soul Symphony, yeah? The producers are coming up to me and they're saying, don't
Dr. Chima Anya, Dr. Chima Anya, Dr. Chima Anya.
when we were ready to perform, we go backstage and we go, yeah, we're here, we're Soul Symphony. They look on the sheet, because Britain's Got Talent, massive operation, right? They're like, there's no Soul Symphony on the list.
Bro, when I saw the footage and I see Anton Deck going, Doctor, Doctor, it's like, come on. Then you know the group's completely taken out of it.
What? Yeah, and you know, it wasn't me that pushed that. That's just the TV people that have pushed that. And so obviously, if I'm like another person in that group, I'm not going to be happy about that. But the thing is, for me, from my point of view, and if anyone who knows me, if we go on and we do something, I'm bringing everyone that was on that stage with me, because they were the people who it's a massive risk going on Britain's Got Talent, right?
Because it can end you.
You can look like an absolute fool.
And it can end you.
Yeah.
Like you were onto something, but you go on there and it can literally end your career permanently.
So all of those people, they know the kind of person I am. And it's like, I've got your back. You know what I mean? You stuck your neck out and you did this. And if it leads to something where I can get you involved, I'm gonna get you involved. So I believe that there's no issue. Like I'm doing a show with Soul Symphony, June. We're doing the MLB, Major League Baseball. We're like the entertainment. You know what I mean? So it's all good.
Okay. So basically, that's what I was trying to get at. Like, is the relationship all cool? Like, because
I think so, yeah.
You know, if you were dealing with
they might not, but I don't know.
The reality is, when you deal with situations like that, people have got feelings, people have got emotions, people have invested time and money and stuff into all of this.
Yeah.
So when they get taken out of an equation a little bit, it's kind of like, oh, that's not fair.
Yeah. I can understand it. I can 100% understand it. You know? But I've not taken anyone out of the equation.
Not you. What I'm saying, I'm not putting you in that. I'm
saying, the way it panned out.
Yeah, the way it panned out. The show was decided to do that.
But I think most of them were happy to just be in the background and just play their instruments. And
so now let's look at it this way, right? What happens when Chima Anya blows up and people reference the moment of that blowing up starting from there, and they're not involved, and now Chima Anya is this big thing and they're not in there?
Bro, I'm telling you, if I'm become a big thing, I'm inviting all of them to be on stage with me when we're performing.
Every time, or just a one-off?
Not every time. Can't do every time.
The Chima Anya that I know has got substance to who he is.
Yeah.
So when you say that, I believe you.
Bro, I'm telling you, right now to the camera, you know, it's there. Anyone, I've got people who I've worked with over the years that I feel like I've not been able to pay them back because it's not been as profitable, you know what I mean? Like, and if I ever make those millions, anyone I've ever worked with that's like gone out on a limb, because that's what really means something, right? You know, because with this band, for a lot of people, it's just like a little bit of extra money on the side, and if it's too much effort for them, they won't get involved. And so for the people who, because you know, a whole day filming for those guys, you know, I mean, actually, I think probably no one said this, but I think probably some of them did get paid. Like the management company probably paid the people to be there, and they didn't pay me. Do you know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. But like, you know, anyone that I've ever that has ever genuinely shown love, if it ever pops off, I've got their back 100%.
And that's the Chima Anya that I know. So yeah.
I'm glad that's what you know.
Yeah, good luck with the rest of the journey on Britain's Got Talent.
Thank you, man.
I know you've already told me off camera that you got through to the next round.
Yeah, we got 3 years.
So, you know, how hopeful are you that you can go the distance?
I feel like what we've got is really special. And if people are open-minded enough, I think I went from like people wouldn't care about this, wouldn't care about me rapping, to now genuinely feeling like I could win this. I
Okay.
could, I
And
could.
what's the general vibe being around people around you now?
Everyone's happy.
Right. So see how mad this is, right? They've seen you on your journey for so many years.
I know, bro. Don't start this now. Don't start this now because there's no point.
But you know where I'm going.
I know where you're going, and it's insane
See,
because
I want to say something here, right? See, all of you people, like, it's shockingly disgusting, right? No, it's shockingly disgusting that you see talent on your doorstep and you don't want to support until the rest of the world is cheering for them, right? That attitude needs to change because what you're doing is you are actually driving some artists to suicide and all them kind of things because they have no belief in themselves. Why do you have to wait for the rest of the world to jump before you jump? Have you not got your own ears and eyes where you can see what's right in front of you? Like, seriously, come on, guys, man. Sorry, I had to say that,
I
man.
feel you. I feel you. But like, I don't like to get. I don't. No one owes me anything.
No, they don't. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't cost them anything to just turn around and go, bro, you're good. I believe in you.
Yeah.
You understand? But instead, they choose the other way, which is just to not say anything.
Yeah.
And then
But they've
you're
got their
there.
own. They've got their own lives.
All
Yeah.
I'm saying is encourage. It doesn't
I
cost
no. I
anything.
know what you're
It
saying.
costs you 2 seconds
I
of
know.
your life.
Yeah.
2 seconds. Bro, you're good.
Yeah.
See how that was? 2
Yeah.
seconds.
No, I feel you. I feel you. And yeah, it definitely was incredible where like all of a sudden everyone was like, I believed in you the whole time. And it's like, really, all this time I'm putting out videos with 20 views. Were you believing in me then? Do you know what I mean? Like,
But let's hope we get 22 views on this one.
22 views, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, bro. Nah, I know exactly what you're saying. And a little bit of that comes into your head when your phone starts ringing and you hear from people you haven't heard from for 15 years. But I'm like, nah, man. Like, just focus on the positives and keep it moving. You know?
There's so much more that we can talk about, obviously. And one of the things is obviously that you're a real life doctor,
Yeah.
which we've already had the
Yeah.
conversation about and everything,
Yeah.
right? Do people actually acknowledge that you're a real life doctor? Or do they just kind of look at it like, right, there's Dr. Dre, so this guy's, it's just a name?
Some people do think that. They think it's like a stage name.
So do you prefer to be just called Chima Anya or Dr. Chima Anya?
Well, actually, yeah. So that's an interesting question because I prefer to just be Chima Anya. But in more recent years, when I've been getting better about branding and my image and things like that, I've realized that the doctor thing is helpful. So so for example, my Instagram is Dr. Chima Anya, but if you look like my Twitter is Chima Anya and stuff like that. So I think generally I like Chima Anya, but representing the doctor is quite important to me now. You know.
How does your life, first of all, compare with music and being a doctor? Which life do you prefer?
Both of them have their pros and cons, and both of them complement each other. So I can escape from one when the other one gets too much, you know, or when music becomes too depressing, I can go to the doctor thing and make some money and be happy. And then when I've made enough money and I don't feel like I need to make money anymore, I can go back to music and I can, do you know what I mean? So they complement each other.
So here we go.
Here we go.
Right. So pandemic.
Yes.
Right. Give us your take on the pandemic and the whole vaccine thing and all them kind of situations that were going on.
All right. So the way I feel about it right now
Yeah.
is when the pandemic first came, and by the way, I am not an expert. I'm a GP. I'm not a public health doctor. I'm not a statistician. I'm a GP. All right. So when the pandemic first came, it was scary. Loads of people were dying. We've lost, legends, hip hop legends because of COVID. And at the time, what scientifically made sense was when we saw the rate at which people were dying, the rate at which people were getting sick, it made sense to try and slow that down, which is what they did with the lockdowns. And there's an interview I did on the BBC at the time where I was like telling people to just stay in their house right at the beginning. You know what I mean? I thought that was the right thing to do. I thought, and then after that, anyone who tells you they definitely know this, they definitely know that, is lying, I think. A lot of it is up for consideration. So, for example, did COVID get less virulent? Did everyone die from COVID that was going to die of COVID? Or did the vaccines, because an insane amount of people got vaccinated, did they actually do their job and prevent deaths and hospitalization? There is no way anyone can answer that question definitively. You can choose what you want to believe. I believe that the vaccines reduced hospitalizations, reduced death. I believe also we got better at treating COVID. We realized, give them steroids, that's a very simplified way. I wasn't treating COVID. If you were in ITU with COVID, you weren't getting treated by a GP. You know what I mean? But I was seeing patients before they went into hospital, and after they went into hospital, I would see their discharge letters. Yeah. And so there was that period earlier where lots of people were getting sick, And then that's not even to talk about long COVID. So I feel like the lockdowns initially were right. I feel like the evidence around masks was difficult, but you could see it made sense, and people's resistance to them. I understand, believe me, I understand all about free will and all of that. I'm that kind of person, you know what I mean? But like some of the fear around the masks, I felt wasn't founded in anything, and that they might have helped. So why not? But remember, people are forgetting how bad it was at the beginning. It wasn't that bad as time went on, as we got better at treating it, as people got vaccinated, which is why all of the very crazy things that we had to do at the time got taken away. So that's how I feel about it. I had a lyric on one of the songs. One of my biggest songs is a song called Soon, and it's big. So I decided to make a sequel called Soon 2, which was with a dope New Zealand producer called Soul Chef, and he actually did the beat to Soon 2. And in it I go, it's been COVID for a minute though. Damn, when will it go? I see the vaccine winning though, death rates and disease brings it low, right? He did the beat, but he wasn't happy with that lyric because he was like, I don't want to be seen to be promoting the vaccine. I'm like, bro, I'm a doctor. I am promoting the vaccines. So that song, he didn't want his beat to be on it, so we took his beat away, and then I made the beat and I put it out. So that's just to tell you how I'm very aware of this issue in hip hop and vaccinations, for historical reasons, where, when they were experimenting on black people, telling them they were vaccinating them and giving them syphilis, you know what I mean? So I get the vaccine hesitancy, but I feel like as a doctor, in terms of what I've been taught, vaccines are one of the greatest inventions in medical history, in terms of making sure we live longer and making sure there's not so much death in childhood, And with COVID now, it seems like they did the job. I don't know.
You said that people in hip hop. It wasn't just people in hip hop.
Not just people in hip hop as well, yeah.
In all walks of life.
Yeah.
Right? There was a lot of people that didn't believe in it. I'm one of them.
Yeah. But you're in hip hop.
I'm in hip hop, but it wasn't hip hop that made me see that. Yeah. So now the question that I've got for you based around that is, I hear your answer, but we also believe that some of the medication that's out there is basically there as a means of corruption to earn the medical system and whatever money and all that kind of stuff. We believe them things.
That happens. That happens all the time. Big pharma. Right. Yeah.
So big pharma, obviously. Yeah. So the other thing is, you're a doctor.
Yeah.
So how can you justify all of that and convince us that it's not because you're earning off the back of it?
I don't justify all of that. And part of being a good doctor is now, especially with how twisted things have become, with, the pharmaceutical companies sponsoring guidelines, running trials, where they get the trials to have favorable outcomes for them. Part of being a good doctor is being like, actually, you know what? Nah, we don't need that medicine for this type of thing. There's this whole issue, we call it deprescribing, where we take off unessential medicines. So that definitely does happen. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen. It does happen. And it's a problem. And that's why, so for example, at the practice I work at, there's a policy of we don't see drug reps. Have you heard of drug reps?
No.
These are like people that the pharmaceutical companies employ to go to GP practices or hospitals and convince the doctors to use their medicines. We don't see them because we recognize that you're compromised. There's a conflict of interest there. So we didn't earn any money for vaccinating. Like, I know people got paid for giving the vaccinations, but it wasn't like, oh, this is how we're going to make all our money. We're caking off this. Yes, maybe the pharmaceutical industries made billions or millions on the actual vaccines. Like I said, there is no way you can only look at what's happened where like millions and millions of people got vaccinated. Yeah. Millions and millions of people. There are some side effects. There are a few side effects. Yeah. But millions and millions of people weren't completely destroyed by the vaccine. And now actually COVID doesn't seem to be as much of an issue as it used to be.
Right, but my question was, you're sat here as a doctor
Yeah.
and as a rapper, who I
Yeah.
respect on both terms,
Yeah.
right? But the things that you're saying, how can we believe that you're not just saying it because your money is coming from that?
You have to do your own research, and you have to look at your sources and make sure your sources are credible.
Yeah, I don't look on Facebook and Instagram for them sources.
Yeah. But then you could say that about anything, because the thing is, any scientific person will probably take the route that I'm taking, right? But then you can always say what you've just said. You're like, well, your lifestyle or your way of earning a living depends on you believing on this field. Well, then there's nothing I can say to change your mind then.
No, there is.
What
There
is it? What do I have to say?
No, the reason why there is because I know you. I know the person.
Okay, yeah. That works as well.
You understand?
But I don't want to corrupt you like that. I want you to come to the but this what you've just said, it underpins medicine, because a lot of it has to do with trust. If you don't trust your doctor, you're not going to listen to what they say. But some people aren't able to take all of the information and make their own decision.
Yeah.
They don't have that capability.
I'm not that guy though. I'm not that guy.
Yeah. But some questions are just so deep that no one is that guy. Do you understand? No one is that guy. No one can figure out every single thing in the universe. So I don't want you to take it. I don't want you to take my word for it just because you trust me, because I might be wrong. You understand? Mm-hmm. I'm honest enough to say I might be wrong. Like I said, I'm not a statistician. I'm not a public health doctor. I'm not a microbiologist. I'm just a GP, and I saw things. I have a background in science. I have a background in medicine. I know how the human body works. These are my conclusions. Do your own research. It's not based on the fact that, I get paid to do this. I'm not saying this because my money depends on it, but I get that point as well. Because there's equally now that the dust is settled, there's quite a few prominent anti-vaxxer doctors who could be making, and actually that's
no matter how you look at it, someone's always earning.
Exactly. Is it like they're getting their money, they're getting their money on that. But the sad thing is the people that suffer with the misinformation.
Of course.
And I like to think that I'm not spreading misinformation.
That's all.
I truly believe in everything I've just said, and I'm happy for you to put it up. And then people can pick holes in it, and then we can talk about it. And then if you can show me where I'm definitely wrong, I will accept it.
Going back on the Britain's Got Talent thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really watch the show, right?
Neither do
But I don't really watch the show. But when I sit with the family and I'm having a takeaway and they're watching it, I catch little bits and pieces here and there. And one thing I noticed is it's very rare that you'll see anyone rapping. I think I've only seen it once before, where there was a couple of singers and the rapper was just a token guy in the group, and he just busts like 4 bars here and there. But do you think you're the first ever rapper to actually get on there?
No, I don't think so. I think probably we don't watch it.
Why do you think there are not that many rappers on a regular basis? Do you think people enter but they don't get chosen?
Yeah, I think rap is still, there's still a stigma attached to it. A lot of people still don't understand it. You have to remember, Britain's Got Talent is watched by like
millions.
70-year-olds. I have 70-year-olds coming up to me going, "I saw you on the telly."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and so can you imagine like presenting, you've got some big emotive musical theater performance, which everyone can understand, and then you've got a guy talking really fast and they can't really understand what he's saying. It's not as accessible, is it? So I understand it. I get it. you know. So I don't think I'm the first rapper on Britain's Got Talent.
But why do you think not enough rappers are represented on that show? Because rap is a big thing. It's all over the world.
It is a big
Everywhere
thing.
you go, it's rap rather
Yeah.
than singing and
Well,
stuff
you know,
nowadays.
maybe this might be the first year a rapper wins it, you know?
Let's hope so, eh? Let's hope
Maybe
so.
it's time.
Fingers crossed.
Maybe it's time. I don't know, man. I don't know.
What do you honestly believe your chances are? You've seen the other competition. What's your chances?
It's got nothing to do with the other competition.
Okay.
It's-
So be honest. Do you think the show's rigged?
No, I don't think the show's rigged.
Okay.
I don't think the show's rigged.
So you don't think that they've already chosen the winner before they even begin filming,
No,
and then they play everyone else around it?
no, I don't think they do that. I think that they manipulate it to a certain degree, but I don't think it's completely rigged. Because what would they have to gain?
Money in it.
Money,
Come on.
but they could make money out of anything. So I think what happens is you have execs who they might not like something and they might not believe that it will do well, in which case they'll suppress it.
So gatekeeping.
Gatekeeping. Yeah, you can call it that. But I don't think it's rigged. And then when whatever gets shown, it will then be down to the public to, like, I feel like if like millions of people vote for a certain person.
So be honest, right? Do you think the public are the overall judges, or those 4 judges are the overall judges? Those 4 people decide someone's fate.
I think it's the public. Because even those 4 people, I think they, to a certain extent, are acting. They're putting on a show for the fan base. Britain's Got Talent has got a huge fan base.
Yeah.
Rap, I wasn't aware people go to it like every year. After I did my performance, you know, some audience members came up to me, you know what I mean? I was chatting to them, you know, and like they go every year and they love it, and they were telling me about, this is how I know there was a rapper before, because they were telling me, because so basically what happened in my situation was we got 3 yeses and 1 no. And basically, like I told you, it was Soul Symphony, really. So it was like a mishmash of songs. And they were like, now you should just stick in one lane. You should just be Dr. Rapper all the way. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, but then this audience member told me there was another rapper on there. Because there's another guy, there's like a mathematician rapper who goes viral every now and again. I think he was on there. And they were like, not impressed. They were like, oh, he's just rapping about his job. Like, what's that about? You know what I mean? So, but then they were telling me to rap about my job, kind of thing. So
Weird,
it is what it is. Yeah.
You know what? We've got to round this up and everything.
Yeah.
Is there any final words?
No, man. Just thanks for like you know, linking up and spending the time to talk to me, and thanks for over the years, you know, like everything you've done. Like you made CDs not just for me. Lots of people. You made it accessible for a lot of people to put music out and pursue their dreams. It's part of my story, definitely. Big up everyone watching, you know, go check out the tunes, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, it's the music.
If you had to name one tune that really made a difference, what would it be?
After All This Time. You see, without hesitation, After All This Time. 2014, I think that came out. A song, it's about 2 of my friends who died, Ade and Morella. And it's just telling them like about after all this time, like since they've been gone, how I'm still thinking about them and just like updating them on my life. And actually I was thinking about doing a second part literally just yesterday to just be like, okay, because after all this time, it's now 10 years old. After all this time, look at all of this other stuff that's happened, you know what I mean?
Okay.
After all this time, Chima Anya.
And what can people look forward to in the near future from you?
So just more amazing music, you know what I mean? Yeah, just more amazing music. Hopefully hit the road with the band, you know, start doing some shows. It's hard though, post-COVID. We didn't talk about how COVID destroyed.
Yeah. I mean, we all know,
economies.
so we didn't even need to discuss
Yeah, we
it.
don't need to, yeah. But for musicians as well, especially touring musicians, you know, how it's made it really difficult. But hopefully I'll be out on the road doing my songs.
And hopefully you'll win that Britain's Got Talent spot. We'll see. It'll be nice to see someone you know win, you know?
Yeah, it
So,
would be.
yeah, it would be nice to see that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, wicked. Do you want to direct people to where they can find you as well?
The best place, www.chimaanya.com, ChimaAnya, chimaanya.com. Join the mailing list. It's much better than... My social media is very entertaining, but you know the algorithms might not always show you what you need to see. Join the mailing list. I don't spam people. I only hit them with that that good information. And there's actually medical advice on my website as well for like general things that you might not want to hit your GP about.
All right, guys. Well, you heard it here. Chima Anya, somebody that I've known for many years. I've been conversating with over the years. I know the word conversate doesn't exist. It's conversing, but I prefer conversating. Go and check him out on all of his social media pages, but through his website, as he's already just said. So go check him out and make sure you follow. And yo, if you're watching Britain's Got Talent and there's that time when it goes to voting, vote, vote, vote. Chima Anya. All right, let's vote one of our own in for a change, yeah? Apart from that, please subscribe to the channel, click the bell to receive the notifications, like, share, and get involved in the comment section below. Thank you very much for coming through, bro.
Much love, my bro.
All right, man.
Yeah.
All right, wicked. Yeah. Peace.
Peace.